Why do you think all Americans are fat and dumb? Ollie had to go take a wank.
Wank.
You know what wank is?
Yeah. That's not what we were doing, is
Yeah,
it?
it's definitely not what we were doing.
Okay. Okay, I thought
I was doing it.
We'll be announcing this episode on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. And she just turned around to me, looks me dead in the eye. She's like, can't we both fancy you? So yeah, I'll kind of leave the story there. I just said I'm not going to go into
And you guys fancied each other all night then?
we talked a lot of politics.
Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on the pod. I appreciate it. Ollie Scott, as you can tell, he is a foreigner. He's a foreigner. So I'm also supposed to say like and subscribe. Helps us out. Subscribe to our YouTube and
Yes, please. We're trying to get to 5 subscribers, so please help us out.
we could get 6 from this.
Aiming high, boys. Love to see it.
Ollie, thanks again, dude. So how old are you?
27.
27.
27.
Okay. And where are you from?
So I'm from the UK, in the Midlands, so near Birmingham. The town's called Rugby. Not many people know it, but it's where
England?
Yeah,
Okay,
England.
okay.
So yeah, it's where the sport was invented, rugby. So, but apart from that, there's nothing too memorable about that town or notorious, apart from myself.
Home of rugby and Ollie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why are you here? Why are you in the US, Ollie?
So I'm in the US. I actually got moved over for work. So I was living in Amsterdam beforehand for 3.5, 4 years. So I was kind of fortunate enough to move to the Netherlands during COVID. Got a job out there when there wasn't many jobs going. So not only did I secure a job, I moved abroad. Brilliant. And yeah, worked in the company for a few years. Opportunity came out in the States, and it was just too good of an opportunity to turn down. So
Why do you think all Americans are fat and dumb?
I don't think Americans are fat and dumb.
Why'd you laugh like that?
I mean, I think statistically it is a bigger country.
He's bringing out the fact sheet over here. Statistics.
I think statistically it's probably a bigger country. As for the dumb part, I don't think it's a dumb country at all. The one thing I do say is, us in the UK and us in Europe, all we get fed is the media picture of America, right?
Yeah.
So with everything going on with the election, whether you're Trump, Biden, whatever.
What do you think about US politics?
I can't say too much because the UK politics is also a bit of a shambles.
Who's your prime minister?
Oh, shit. I've been out of the country for it's not Rishi anymore. It's Keir Starmer. So Keir Starmer won. So the Labour Party are in, like, they've been out for, like, I don't know, 15, 20 odd years. But then beforehand, the Tory government had 5 prime ministers in, like, 6 years or something stupid like that. So imagine having, like, 5 presidents in 5 years. That's how shit it got. So
they could just get kicked out whenever?
Yeah, so if you kind of, I mean, it's been a long time since I spoke or studied politics, but if you're not doing too well in the press or anything, even if an election's not coming up, because at the end of the day, it's the party's interest for the next election. So if you're not the right man or woman for the job, if you've got any sense about you and you want your party to do well, you'll step aside and you'll let someone come in. And unfortunately for the UK, we've had a few too many people step aside and come in. So it hasn't looked great. Neither has US politics. So it's kind of comparable, I guess. But yeah, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. So I won't speak too much on US politics.
Well, thank you for that. We are really trying to turn this podcast into a European political podcast. So thank you for that. Yeah. And then we just kind of skipped over that. What do you do for work?
Christ. I'm an accountant. Yeah, so not very...
The last guy was an accountant.
Yeah. So I don't know how long you want to dwell on that topic for, but I'd say let's get over that and move to the fun stuff because otherwise we're going to be putting some people to sleep, no doubt.
Let's just check out. He's smart. Move on.
Okay, we'll move on.
Super smart.
Why do you guys get to say the C word so much and we can't?
I think it's changing. So I've got a friend of mine who's like 40, 50 in the US, and he said he loves the fact that we use the C word so frequently.
Is that common in your vocabulary?
Oh, yes. I think it's a brilliant word. It's highly underrated, especially in the United States. But I do feel as if it will progress. My understanding is other curse words also weren't so acceptable nowadays, or acceptable. So I feel like you'll see a hashtag free the sometime in the near.
I'm trying to get America needs to be so
future.
progressive that we can say the C word here. That's what I'm trying to throw it out in school zones. So,
Yeah, school zones. Yeah, good luck with that one.
Oh, dude. Anyway, dude. Well, thank you again. I feel like with you, every time we go out, because I've known you for a couple months now, and another person from our building. So we're just kind of racking them up at this point. But always chill, kind of like Cool Hand Luke, very suave, and then you got this accent that's like a natural aphrodisiac. So, I mean, has that helped you since you've been here?
Natural aphrodisiac. I haven't heard that one before. It's nice. It's good. 'Cause obviously, as I said, I was living in the Netherlands beforehand, and I don't know how much you know about Amsterdam, but we get a lot of UK tourists go to Amsterdam for the vices, I guess, that you can acquire there. So,
Do you partake in any of those vices?
I will not comment on anything that can lose my job.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot we talked about
I'm
that.
joking.
Good answer.
But no, I do feel like living in Amsterdam so many years, hearing a Dutch person hearing a UK accent is just, oh, it's just another one of you guys. Whereas like over here, it's, oh my God, it's Harry Potter. So
What Harry Potter character would you be if you could pick one?
Oh, that's a good question. Definitely wouldn't be Harry, because I'm not the star man.
You got the Snape hair, dude.
Yeah, I do. I think I do like a bit of Malfoy.
Yeah,
I think.
okay, he's got
Maybe I'm kind of aligning myself with the snake there, which I probably shouldn't do. But I think Malfoy's got something about them. Ron, bit of a sweetheart, kind of funny. So yeah, I'll go with Ron actually, the underdog.
Is it big over there?
Harry Potter. I feel as if it definitely is big. I mean, I don't sit around in my circle of friends and we discuss Harry Potter, but culturally, I guess very
Teach their own.
very big. Yeah.
Awesome, man. I guess Isaac, you have a question?
Question. I want to piggyback on that. How has like the aspect of being foreign and the accent, how has that helped you with the ladies over here? Is that are they pretty into that?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird, right? So I'm so bad at reading signs. I do have this confidence about me, like how I dress, whatever.
Yeah, you got a good fit going on. Could we just mention that real quick?
Yeah, he's
Appreciate
got
it.
some mad style. I've seen him out a couple nights. Yeah, he's always got that unique, like very smooth style about you.
You got to keep it clean.
Oh yeah.
So I do have that, but I'm so unobservant and I'm so blind. So people can show me signs that they're interested, and it'll go over my head completely.
Hey, me too, brother.
But thankfully, living here, I think the Americans are a bit more forthright in their, oh my God, you're English, and then it's like, okay, clearly very interested. So I've had a couple of, oh my God, your accent makes me melt, which is very weird because I mumble a lot. I don't articulate myself particularly well. I don't.
Doing well now. I was thinking we were going to have to put subtitles underneath it, but I think we're good.
Subtitle the whole thing. Oh.
Does that work for Americans? If I went over there, I mean, that doesn't work. No. Okay.
No, I had
no reason to go over there then.
I had a colleague ask me this. They said, "Are we as well received in UK, Europe as like you guys are over here?" And I was trying to be polite and diplomatic about it, but as I said, it kind of goes back to the politics point. We kind of get fed the American vision through the media, right? You see the dumb Trump supporters, the dumb Biden supporters, whatever, in the media, and then we just kind of make a stereotype about you guys, and as soon as we hear a voice that sounds remotely similar, we think, not very bright. At least that's what I hear.
Get out.
I'm
Get
very
out.
open-minded, and I love all of my American friends.
Okay.
They're just also dumb and fat.
Yeah, we're all done with that.
Not fat.
Not that?
Not fat.
Just dumb.
Are you into that?
Gotcha.
You into that?
I'm not one of these people. I don't mind like size to me. You know, I'm flexible. I don't mind curvy chicks. I don't mind slimmer chicks. It's chicks is a bad word to use. That's a very.
Do you use birds? I always like that.
I do. So the thing is, I do use the word bird, but I think it's just more of a. I mean, like my mum uses the word bird. My daddy, like whoever, like
always thought
growing
that was
up,
very funny.
it's just more of like that bird, that bloke, and it's just okay, woman, man, and then like you kind of come into the 2020s and onwards, you use the word bird, and you feel like you've just, I don't know, taken a shit in someone's living room, and it's like you shouldn't have said that. It's a woman, it's a girl. So I do think.
Never mind, I didn't think that was funny. I thought it was disrespectful.
I do think things I read into a little bit deeply nowadays, but I do slip into old habits and use those terms every now and then.
Are you more attracted to UK women or American women? And is there a difference?
There's definitely a difference. So this is tough. So I was living in the Netherlands for 4 years. If you ever go to the Netherlands, definitely check it out. It's the most, in terms of like race, the most beautiful men and the most beautiful women you'll ever see. It's a fucking gorgeous country.
How long's the flight up there or from back home?
Say it
From
again?
rugby.
Oh, like 45 minutes.
Flight?
Yeah, it's close. But culturally, we're very different. So it's harder to have a conversation, I guess. I've had good conversations with many Dutch people, men, women, whatever. But I do feel like UK culture, I mean, I think it's the same as anywhere, right? There's going to be differences in cultures. If you're trying to talk to someone, whether that be a man or a woman, and they're from somewhere different, you're going to have these differences. So my mindset or ideal, I guess, kind of woman in recent times has been, if they got a good grasp on UK culture, but they look somewhat not from the UK, then pitch perfect.
That's your go-to.
That's my go-to. Yeah.
Do you guys gang up on anybody? Who don't you like over there? I
In
mean,
the
like
UK?
in the UK, yeah.
I think we don't
Those
care.
Irish
We don't
or what?
care.
Oh,
Like
okay, yeah.
Irish, Scottish. This is always a thing, especially when there's football or rugby on. We don't care. Like I will root for Wales or Ireland if they're an underdog, especially in football. Maybe not rugby because they're bigger countries in rugby, but in football, like if they're playing a bigger team, I'll root for them. Whereas the Irish and the Scottish fucking hate the English. So no matter who we play, they will be wearing the France jersey, the Germany jersey, whatever. So I feel like that rivalry is very one-sided. I don't care, but they seem to.
Back on that question of the differences, I guess, from women in the UK to America. Like, what are you seeing?
That's a good question. It's different because the UK is tiny, right, in comparison to America. So the girls in Denver are vastly different to the girls in LA and New York. So it's very hard to kind of condense that into one. But in terms of attitudes, if I'm going to see a girl, it's a lot, I guess, easier for me to stand out. Because more often than not, it's the one thing that I've experienced since moving here. Girls will approach me, which is so nice.
That's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, because I'm in terms of going out back home, like I don't have the confidence to go up to a girl. Whereas over here, most of the time I don't need to. So yeah, I guess from that side of things, it's kind of nice.
So you just have women come up to you, and then what does that look like after? If you're interested in one, I mean, are you trying to, what are you trying to do? You get to know them?
Yeah, of course.
Like
it's I mean, the dog days are behind me. I mean, I guess when I was young, I was probably a little bit more free or whatever. As I've got older, I'd like the idea of seeing someone and building that connection. But it's always tricky because for me, my job, like I'm here in the States for at least maybe another year. Beyond that, I don't know. So it's kind of hard trying to find that balance of, right, okay, I would like to have something, I want to see you more, but then juggling the harsh realities of, well, I'm going to be going back to Europe. So how do we kind of assess the situation? So it's been a tricky one to navigate since moving here, for sure.
Would you bring a gal back?
To the UK or Europe? Yeah, I guess. But I also feel like if my timeline in the States is for another year, a year is a very short amount of time to try and make a girl commit to that.
You've been here for how long?
I moved in Feb, so what's that, 8 months ish? So not long at all. But at the moment, I do want to indulge myself a little bit. I want to enjoy kind of like what US has to offer, not necessarily just girls, but anything. So I don't want to become a recluse and have a girlfriend and stay in every weekend. You know what I mean? I want to go out and experience what Denver and the rest of the States has to offer. So, yeah.
So you familiarize yourself with Denver. What's your go-to date here then? Say if you wanted to take a gal out on the town.
My go-to date. It's tricky because I feel like the Denver's a melting pot, right? Most of the people in Denver aren't from Denver, so they're from all, like wherever. But they all move for the nature, the hiking, and I'm for it. I'm trying to become more outdoorsy. I'm trying to get my exercise in. I'm trying to be hiking up the mountains and seeing the views, but it's not my religion. Whereas I feel like for a lot of girls here, it is. So for me, a bar, I'm English, I like a pub, some alcohol, better.
Do they have good pubs here?
Nah, they're okay, but it's not the UK. You haven't got pubs, you got bars, which is different.
But like, is there anything that resembles back home?
You got the Irish pubs, I guess. I mean, an Irish pub, I guess, will never let you down because you always kind of know what to expect. But I say the going out experience is vastly different between here and there.
Anything you like about, I mean, American culture, right? Like what do you like anything about it?
Yeah, I mean, people seem to be in a lot better mood. I don't see much drama when I go out. In the UK, people seem to be a little more tense, more willing to fight. It's not particularly great. Over here, it's
just a bunch of Conor McGregors running around.
Yeah, pretty much. Whereas here, a lot friendlier, but then also the people who aren't friendly have got guns. So it's kind of like there's danger around every corner. But it's just trying to keep your wits about you and keep your mouth shut when you should.
Okay. The food here?
So the food is brilliant, fattening. Which might explain the epidemic.
Yeah, we got like 93 added ingredients compared to your stuff over there.
I was reading my ketchup bottle the other day, and it's insane the amount of shit that's in there. Yeah. I'm trying to kind of live a healthier lifestyle, but living in the States is harder to do so for sure.
Okay, and then you got any good British slang for us?
Ooh, good British slang. So there's a guy called, we obviously know Hack, who we live with here. So he's Jamaican, and he enjoys conversing with me because I understand a lot of the Jamaican slang because a lot of it's kind of fed into English culture through the immigration, whatever, over the years. So like all my friends will use, or a lot of my friends, you use a word like wagwan, like what's going on, which at the beginning you'll end up using ironically because we would never say wagwan, but then every day you just end up saying it anyway. Peng, I guess, is what if a girl's good looking, like she's peng, or she's lang.
She's peng?
Peng.
P-E-N-G.
Yeah,
okay, peng.
Peng, lang. I would never use the word skeng, but I think skeng is a gun. There's a lot of words ending in eng, clearly.
I was thinking about the old ones, like Bob's your uncle.
That's my sayings like like Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. I'm not even entirely sure what these mean anymore. But yeah, I think the most common one I get over here is when people hear the accent, they're like, "Oh, can you say bottle of water?" And I'm like, a bottle of water. They were expecting me to kind of skip out all the T's, but the Americans seem to take a great pleasure in hearing that phrase.
I mean, so your favorite one to use was what?
As much as I'd hate to admit it, I'd probably say I use Peng a fair bit. Okay. Less so since I moved here because no one has a fucking clue what I'm talking about. But yeah, maybe that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess, so do you guys, I mean, American culture and then entertainment, you know, you got all that stuff. I mean, like, what is
Over
your
the top.
It's over the top.
Over the top.
It's over the top.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. As in how?
Sports. Like I've been to American football. I've been to the basketball games, and after every 2 minutes you've got a commercial. It's so dragged out. Granted, it's very family friendly, which is nice. There's not much animosity between like fans. Everyone seems to get along, at least in the games that I've seen. I think there's more of a rivalry in college sports, which I haven't seen yet. But especially because I'm a big soccer person, my team's Arsenal. I think a lot of enjoyment from those sports comes with the rivalry, us versus them. But I don't seem to see that here. I think it's missing. So yeah, I think you need to up your I guess, how you act in American sports. I think it's a little bit too passive. They need a bit more passion.
You need a little bit more oomph, I see.
A little bit oomph, yeah.
What's your favorite UK artist?
UK artist. It's predominantly rap. So I listen to a lot of like tech and tech house, but especially when I'm out and about, like going to music events. But day to day, UK rap is in my ear all the time. So Skepta, Fred, not Fred, fucking Dave. Fred again, I'm thinking of the DJ. Dave. My favourite artist is Cass is Dead. Would highly recommend if you haven't heard him. Some darker lyrics, but the beats are pretty fucking funky. So I do feel like UK rap is very superior to US rap.
What about KSI? Come on.
Dog shit. Yeah, you couldn't pay me to listen to him. It's a shame. He's a big Arsenal fan. I think he pumps a fair bit of money into Arsenal because I think Prime is a sponsor of Arsenal. But I think his music is...
Dude, that tastes like shit.
Like, Prime. I've never had it. It's just,
okay.
It's not... Yeah.
I'm sorry, Isaac was trying to get a Prime sponsor, so it might have just ruined that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, at this point, we'll take anything.
Yeah, I feel bad. I should probably be advocating for the UK brands a little bit more. But
I guess it might be an American brand, but no. Okay, man. Well, so what are you looking for in a woman? I mean, what's the goal? I guess you want to move back, correct?
Yep.
So that's where you want to find a wife. If everything goes perfect, you never know what's going to happen. But what does that look like for you?
I need a girl that's a bit individual. I can't have like a plain Jane. I don't want someone that kind of blends in. I need someone that keeps me on my toes. I mean, the one thing that I've seen here in America is everyone's very polite, which is lovely. It's very good. Some of it's a little bit superficial from kind of, I guess, from my experience. But my mum sees through that. Like, she cuts through all bullshit. Even if I can't see it, she will.
So you're not taking a gal home to mom unless you think
Oh,
this is the right
100%.
one. Okay.
Because there have been instances where I've taken a girl home and my mum she won't let me know, but she will also let her know that it's...
Like to her face?
It's pretty much like she'll grill her
Okay.
and it's a common understanding that this is not going to work. So I've stopped wasting my time with...
Where does it fall apart? Like, halfway through the dinner or what?
It's never really... We've never had... I'm smart enough not to do dinners because it's kind of come in, converse for a couple of minutes, CA, get on, get out, as in will get out. But yeah, my mum seems to have like a sixth sense as to whether she's the one. And so far, none of them have been. So thankfully, moving to Amsterdam in the US has been a more freedom to see who I like and kind of experience things that way.
Has it broadened your horizons?
It's broadened my horizons for sure. But at the end of the day, I need someone that my family are going to respect.
What's the perfect girl that your mom would want you to bring home?
someone's independent. My mum's very independent, so my mum and dad were kind of split up when I was 2. I've got a great relationship with them both, but my mum pretty much brought me up single-handedly. So I guess there's kind of, I understand it, the man needs to be the gentleman, needs to do this for the woman, this, that, and the other. And I'll always do that. Like, I'll go out the way to kind of provide where I can. But at the end of the day, I want a woman that can stand on her own 2 feet as well. Because that's what my mum did. So, and I think she'd want the same. She doesn't want someone leeching off me or whatever. So I feel like having a strong personality, being confident in who you are, I think matters very highly.
You're pretty close to your mom. Do you call her every day?
Not every day.
How often do you guys talk?
We speak a fair bit. I mean, I'd say at least once a week, twice a week. I mean, we are very close. We are very open with each other. She kind of knows about an awful lot. Like, she had me when she was young. Like, I've got friends who are like my age, and their parents like 60, 70, whereas my mum's not even like 50 yet. So I guess kind of growing up, we kind of had a closer bond because I see her more of like a friend than a parent. Even though she does whip me into shape if I'm doing something wrong, like a parent should. Probably more so than other kids. She'll hate me saying that, but I think it's kind of helped me build the character that I am today. So, yeah, I can't remember.
That's a good mum.
Yeah, she's
good mum.
She is a good mum. She's a very good mum.
Yeah, that's
You got to, and that's one thing I think girls should be looking for is, because you kind of got your daddy's girl, your mummy's boy, your daddy's boy, whatever. Like, I think a mummy's boy is like the top of the pile, because at the end of the day, that should be the main woman in your life. And if you're doing what you can to try and make her happy, make her proud, then that should only translate to the person that you're going to be with.
What do you think of gals that don't like a mummy's boy?
So I do feel that there might be some kind of connotations in the sense that they're maybe like insecure or whatever, which I do understand. But it's about respect. And I from the outset, I feel like the girls who don't like a mummy's boy are also potentially the type of girls that will end up with dicks. So, and then they'll complain about the fact that why they're with dicks. And the definition of insanity, right, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. And these girls will continuously go for dicks. And it's like, well, you should go for your fucking mummy's boy then, and you'll get treated right.
Nice.
There we go.
Yeah, that's.
So,
I mean, that is
advertising
sweet
myself to the highest
that is
degree.
sweet. That, I mean, like, you know, you're talking to your mom. You got a good relationship with her, and she provides some extra. You know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Clarity around what's right for me.
Yes,
Hey, it beats me, you stupid American.
Yeah.
What's the most annoying things about Americans? I mean, is there anything that just pisses you off?
You're very loud. You're very loud. I mean, yeah, I've kind of like seen a bit of the frat and the sorority culture, and it's cool. Like, it's very nice to kind of see it, because we don't get that in the UK, that university culture. But it's very bros and this, that, and the other, and it's a little bit, I don't know, too much for me. But it's different. It's different cultures. I think the main thing for me is I moved over, and it's like everyone is so polite, and then you really enjoy it, especially coming from Amsterdam, where everyone's super direct. And if you don't know that about the Dutch, then that can come off as really cold. Until you know that, and it's like, okay, that's just them being them, and then it's fine. So coming over here, it's a nice change because everyone's very warm. Then it kind of gets to a point where it's like, do they actually care?
Is
like,
it fake?
Is it fake? And I don't know if it's me being different or me coming from the outside, but I do think there's a little bit more of that, or at least I see more of that. I don't know. But I think that's the biggest one for me, because I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. I'll speak to anyone. I'll have a good conversation. I'll put my trust in anyone until someone breaks it. So having that good conversation means a lot to me, but then you kind of like replay it, and it's like, are they actually taking an interest, or are they just a little bit like just not there and a bit superficial with it? I think trying to nail that down is something that I've maybe struggled with a little bit.
You guys are like more laid back. I feel like you're a little wittier, and you get. I mean, that's kind of I don't think it's a misconception.
No, yeah, we're definitely funnier.
Well,
no, definitely.
different humor. Your guys' humor is so much
Better
different,
humor.
drier.
Better humor.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. And that's
hit him with the joke, Isaac. Hit him with the joke. No, he's
No,
right. He's
see,
right. Isaac had
again,
nothing.
proves the point. The US inferior on humor.
My bad. I'm gonna just sneak out of here and go grab a bottle of water.
Yeah, I think because you guys' humor is very interesting. It is very dry. I mean, do you think anybody's funny over here? Any comedians here?
I want to say yes, there are, but they tend to be the not so politically correct ones.
Do you have anybody?
Yeah,
off the
see,
top of
okay,
your head?
that's my take on humor. I think, we have cancel culture here, so we gotta really watch our humor here.
Yeah.
Where I guess I don't know UK well, but I'm guessing that's not the case there. Like, you can have that more dry humor and get away with it.
It's weird because that cancel culture has definitely transferred to the UK. But like my favorite comedian is Ricky Gervais. Like,
Yeah.
I find hilarious. And he's done the Golden Globes in the US many a time. He cuts people down to shreds. He steps into areas of comedy that you get shut down for nowadays. But he kind of stands by that. But he's well received because he's Ricky Gervais. Nevertheless, you'll still get people saying, oh, it's this or it's that. But I guess the one thing about humor is it's subjective and it's personal, right? I mean, you're all going to have your sensitive topics. I think it's about being grown up enough to understand the fact that sometimes you're going to like a joke, sometimes it's not for you. If not, move on. But some people just can't move on. And that's where I think potentially the world has lost its way a little bit. But, we'll see where that goes.
What's the most annoying thing about the people from the UK?
From the UK? Was the most difficult thing and the only thing about the people from the UK. I guess people being so in the US. One thing I commented on about is how friendly people are. It's brilliant. Everyone's really super friendly. Obviously, there's people who aren't so friendly, and you kind of got to be step back because you don't know what they're going to do with all your gun laws, which I won't comment on because I don't know the demographic.
Go get your gun, Isaac.
Yeah, I don't know the demographic of your podcast, so I don't want to annoy anyone. In the UK, I think there's a lot of bravado and being the man, and I think you get that anywhere. But to me, it's just a little bit cringy. It's not something that I particularly relate to. I don't like confrontation.
Do they have good teeth over there? I mean, I know. I watch.
So I've had this so many times, and people ask me direct.
Have good teeth.
My teeth are okay. I'm wearing Invisalign at the moment. I've taken them out for today because I've got a bit of a speech impediment with them in, and that will not bode well for this show. But the one thing I've learned is in America, cosmetic will kind of cover you for a lot of things. Like if you can have good teeth, but if they're not perfect, it's like we can slam that on insurance. That doesn't happen in the UK. So by natural selection, we just kind of have bad teeth. Not bad teeth, but worse teeth in the US.
Do you like Austin Powers?
Yeah, I mean,
that's the first thing I thought.
He's got bad teeth, but he does very fucking well. I think he's leading the line for bad teeth and good taste in women.
The man is groovy, and let me tell you.
He is very groovy.
Past relationships, any long term?
Admittedly, no. I haven't had a relationship that's lasted longer than. I definitely had a relationship that's lasted a year. Not happened.
You haven't had one over
No,
here.
I haven't had one.
Just because you don't. That's not kind of what you're looking for. That's not your bag,
Well,
baby.
I've only had like 3 or 4 since I was like 15. I've had maybe like 3 or 4 relationships, and I've got friends who are serial relationshipers. Like they'll get out of one and then they're into the next one. Like for me, my healing process is long. Like I'll get out of a relationship and like, okay, I need to. It's like
healthy.
It's like the Olympics. It comes around like once every 4 years. I feel like there's a big break between my relationships. I need that time to kind of.
This guy gets
heal.
out of a relationship. He just runs through them.
Yeah. I was like, that is disgusting.
That is disgusting and disrespectful.
And he's Christian, right?
Yes.
He is.
No, he's lying to you. I would be more on your boat. I'd take a couple years in between. I mean, historically, I tried to at least.
Yeah. But the main love is the one in the sky, right?
Exactly. Our Lord and Savior.
Amen, brother. So anything, I mean, is it, I'm not going to ask it that way, but you are looking for something over a year, obviously. What, I mean, if you could be married by a certain time point, what would that look like? Do you want to get married?
Yes, I would like to get married. But my mindset is, with these things, is I'd like to get married with the idea that you have kids. Now, for me, I'm so far removed from the idea of having kids right now. I think a lot of people go around and they have this notion of, I'm born to be a mum, I'm born to be a dad, and I don't have that. I don't know if that's a great thing, but I don't.
Does your mom want grandchildren? Mm-hmm. Your mom want grandchildren?
I think she will, but she's got another son, so I'm sure he can provide.
It's
not all on me. We're sharing that responsibility.
That's my take too. It's all on my brothers.
Yeah. I think for me, because my mum kind of put a lot aside to like bring me up, right? And she'd done, I'd like to think, a good job. But looking at that, I don't want to be trying to raise a kid when I'm not in a position to do so. I want to be in a position where I don't want to spoil my kid, because I hate people who I can tell have been spoiled. But I want to provide. I want to be able to give them as much as I can. So I think from a selfless point of view, I'm not ready to look for anything like that until I'm in a point in my life, career-wise, where I'm like, right, okay, I'm at a point now where I can have a wife and I can have kids. So,
Isaac, question?
Oh, you want more out of me? I got nothing. Give me the script. Let me read one of those. Keeps catching me off guard.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you had some. No, okay, nothing. Yes. Okay,
Can we use that point as a segue for me to go for a wee?
Yeah, take a wee.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Take a wee.
Let's take 5. I'll go as well.
One eternity later.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from a quick wee break, and
Ollie had to go take a wank.
The bladder of a pregnant woman, I'm afraid.
I like that
Same.
word, wank. No?
Wank's a great. Does that not used in
You
the
didn't
US?
use wank, dude.
Yeah,
Wank.
brilliant. Wank.
You know what
Isn't-
wank is?
yeah, that's not what we were doing. Is
Yeah,
it?
it's definitely not what we were doing.
Okay.
But,
Okay. I thought I knew. What
I
that
was doing it.
You were.
One wank later. Anyway, so we're back from a little short break. Yeah, I did want to say, because I know there are a couple things that we didn't get to, but you have a pretty good Denver story for us, or like a crazy night on the town. I know you do. So I don't know if you want to delve into that by any chance.
yeah, I mean, it was a long day, a very long day. So my buddies had a gig in LA one weekend, and great show. So I went out there, and then I flew back on a Sunday night. Got back into Denver at 2 a.m. Had to be by 5 because my company, they let us volunteer. We get 3 volunteering days a year. Most of the time, it's things that not so enthralling, so be cleaning up your local park, which are all good things to do. But we had an organization come in a few months ago, and they go around the prisons in Colorado, I think maybe in wider America as well, and they try and equip inmates with the skills and the tools to kind of get a job on the outside. It was a level 5 men's prison, but throughout the entire day, I was kind of maybe subtly taking notes on the names, I guess, potentially, just to do a bit of Googling, a bit of research for my own benefit. We were heading home, and I had like a list of a few names that I'd picked up throughout the day. And I Googled his name, and straight away Wikipedia. I'm like, okay, juicy. And I'm reading through the Wikipedia page, and I'm like, holy shit, like, I know who you are, because I've like seen you on TV. And yeah, I guess kind of long story short, even though I've kind of gone on about that, in 1990, this guy, I guess he made a mistake, he ended up killing someone. I think he got a life sentence for it. And then in prison, you can do like work in the prison. So people work in the canteen, in the gymnasiums, cleaning up or whatever. And in 1994, he was working on gym duty in a prison, and they were left unattended for 20 minutes. I don't know why they were left unattended for 20 minutes, but they were. And he essentially caved the other two inmates' head in, like he killed them both. And one of the guys was a dude who killed his wife by stabbing her in the face. Sorry, a bit gory. And then when the police came, he stabbed himself and he tried to pin it on a black guy. And this guy's a black guy, so I'm not saying I can condone what he's done, but I can understand kind of like, I guess, maybe the rationale behind it. And then the second guy he killed was Jeffrey Dahmer. So when reading that, I was like, what the fuck? Because I shook this guy's hand, he's written me a note. So my family have voted unanimously to get that tattooed on me, that note.
From the killer of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, the killer of Jeffrey Dahmer. Wow. So, I mean, I can't remember word for word what it said, but it's something along the lines of, your time here today will be remembered for a long time. So it's a very sentimental message, and then to get it from someone, I guess, so infamous is quite an experience.
Did he get him with a broomstick? I thought that was like the whole...
I think it was a metal pole.
Oh, okay.
I mean, so I don't know if you've seen Dahmer, the Netflix series, but I don't know how true to life that was, that reenactment, but it was...
This guy's got like a big blue drum in his room, and he always smells. I don't know what's going on over there.
Big blue drum.
He doesn't watch TV. He doesn't.
What's big blue drum?
That's what he would like put the... Never mind.
It was fucking brutal, like what happened. So yeah, that in itself was kind of like a momentous, memorable, and then I've joined a pool team since being out here. So being English, I love pool. Like, it's very ingrained in our culture. And my captain messaged me on the way back from the prison, and he was like, "Hey, can you come play for us tonight?" I'm like, "Fuck! Like, I've been in prison all day. That sounds worse than it is. Don't clip that. Give the context. I was in LA yesterday, but sure, I'll come play." I turned up, and lo and behold, I was tired and I was playing awfully. And I decided that weekend to stop smoking. I'm going to stop smoking. And then I was playing badly. I was like, "Cigarette. I need a cigarette." So I went outside trying to find someone smoking. And there was a group of girls smoking cigarettes. I was like, "Hey, can I borrow one?" And we got talking, had a cigarette, and then I went inside. And then a half hour later, we were finishing this pool game, and then two of the girls come in, and they were like, "Oh, can we give you a game of pool?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Like, I'm going to go home soon. I'm tired. I've been in prison all day. But yeah, we'll have a game." Had a few frames, had a couple of drinks, nothing too crazy. Then this guy kind of joins. I think he's trying to speak to the girls, but he's American, so it's not going too well.
He's trying to get in on the...
Yeah, he's trying to get in. But at this point, I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to have a couple of games and go home." And then this girl, one of the girls, has very forthrightly said, "I thought you were going home soon." And I was like, "That's a bit rude." But yeah, like, I'm having this game, and I'm dipping. I'm out of here. And then she was like, "I think me and my friend should come back to yours and talk about politics." I'm like,
That's all you have to do. You just have to ask them to talk about politics.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a lot in common, right? It's shit in the UK and it's shit in the US, so potentially there's some common ground to be found. I was like, "Okay, like, when do you want to go?" And she's like, "After this game." I'm like, "All right, okay, let's wrap this up." So we wrap up the game, and we kind of go back to the car. And we're driving back, and in my head, I'm like, "Okay, potentially one of these girls might fancy me." Again, kind of goes back to my earlier point of I can't see like what's in front of me. I'm very oblivious to these sorts of things. But I figured, okay, like, there's a girl here that fancies me, but I don't know who. So it's a bit of an awkward one, because obviously they're both coming back to mine. And then we kind of go in. One goes to the bathroom and the other one's in my kitchen. And I kind of go up to the one in the kitchen. I'm like, it's going to sound such an arrogant question, but does someone fancy me here? Because I really can't assess the situation. Like, And she just turned around to me, looks me dead in the eye. She's like, can't we both fancy you? And I don't know if you've ever seen, Love Actually.
Yeah, is it just like that?
It
That's
was
so
like,
crazy.
it was like, it was my Colin moment. It was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
It was, so yeah, I'll kind of leave the story there. I just said, I'm not going to go into
And you guys fancied each other all night then?
we talked a lot of politics.
They talk politics all night.
Talk some politics.
Yeah, so it was.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, I'll try and extend my visa. If I can.
Does that shape up to any UK nights?
UK nights, nothing like. I'd say nothing too crazy like that. I mean, there was some. I was saying earlier about the guys in the UK. They kind of have a bit of bravado. I remember there was one night when I went out with some friends, and we went out and the club finished. So we're like, okay, where's open now? We want to stay out and carry on a bit longer. I mean, I wasn't drinking, but all my friends were. So we went to a gay bar. Wasn't really expecting much. And my friends get talking to a couple of girls, and it's like, okay, cool. Like, they clearly left. They're going to come back and chill with us afterwards. So anyway, me and a buddy we were about to leave. We head to the car, and these like two girls come along, and we're just waiting for like two of my other friends to come, who were also speaking to some girls. And then all I see in my like mirror is two guys, my friends, sprinting to the car, and then a bunch of guys chasing them. I'm like, this is not good. And like, I unlock the doors, they jump in, like, they're Olly, drive. I'm like, okay. So I drive, I speed away from this group, and then I realize it's a fucking dead end. So I've got to turn around. So I do a U-turn, like a U-turn, and like there's these guys running towards the car, and I effectively have to like drive through this group of people who I didn't see but apparently had knives. So it was a bit of a precarious situation. I think what happened was, so me and my friends were like 20, 21 at the time, and they were talking to some woman who's like 30, 35, and her fella was there. And he wasn't best pleased when I think he found out that his woman, his girlfriend, was entertaining one of my friends. So he brought out the heavies, and then like they kind of, I guess, charged at them, hence why they ran towards the car. But I was the getaway driver from that situation, which was a little bit scary. But yeah, I think one of my friends, he ended up hooking up with both of the girls that night. And it was the night he lost his virginity. So yeah.
So he got stabbed and then
lost
his virginity?
No one thankfully got stabbed.
Somebody did that night.
But my friend definitely had a very memorable night.
Sounds like he did the stabbing.
Yeah, he definitely did. There was a form of penetration, maybe. But it was funny because when I saw the boys afterwards, because I think I was speaking to a couple of the girls who actually came back, I guess they kind of they gave me the assist for helping him lose his virginity. Now, two girls losing a virginity, that's good going, I think. So I guess that was a proud moment in my young adulthood, being able to.
If that's what it takes to lose your virginity these days, I don't even know if I
the idea of being stabbed and that possibility, but I guess I think in the end, like it worked out very well for him.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, fuck, dude. I mean, I don't even know if we can get better than that. I guess I do. I do
top
want
tier stories.
Yeah, those are good. Those are very good. So wait. So you met the killer of Jeffrey Dahmer, and then took two girls home.
Yeah,
That was the same night.
That was the same.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was so I actually found my family the next day because they were on holiday, and I told them the story. And my uncle, when I told him the story, he said the threesome part was better. I'm like, what? And like, to me, like, yeah, that was an impressive part, but like, me being a crime fanatic, I just dribbled drink on me, and that's really bad.
Oh, that's okay.
Me being a crime fanatic, I was like, oh, wow, like this was momentous for me, and like I would love to go back. I mean, I've read about this guy. He wants to write a book. He hasn't written a book. I'm like, I'd love to help you write your book. So I don't know. Maybe we'll cross paths again.
He's probably busy.
Huh?
He's probably busy.
Yeah, he's probably busy.
Well, okay. Well, yeah. I guess the last question for you, because I don't know if we can get any better than that. But why are you a catch, Ollie?
Why am I a catch? Because I'm a mummy's boy. Because I'm English. I don't know. Why am I a catch? I guess since I was like younger, and this is I'm not going to deep it too much. Like at school, I was never really part of like the in crowd sort of thing. I was never really good at sports. I didn't really have anything that like I kind of like shone in. So I guess when I was like 18, 19, I got into fashion. I got into clothes. I liked being a little bit individual, like being my own person. And I think for me, over the years, gaining my throughout my experience and just gaining confidence as I've got older, getting older and basically just becoming more confident in myself and become like very self-aware in who I am. I think like my relationship with my family, I like to think I'm matured in the years, but I don't think I fit into the gym bro, the fraternity bro, which I see so much out here. I'm sorry if you boys from fraternities, but I'm not saying I'm better, but maybe I am, don't know. But no, I wouldn't say, I think everyone has their qualities, right? Like I'm not going to say, look, I'm better than anyone else, because I'm not, definitely not.
You are uniquely yourself.
Yeah, I like to think I'm myself, and I don't think I change for anyone. And sometimes that is to my detriment. There's definitely been experiences where I probably should have just changed and like grown up, and over the years I probably have. But I think the same with anyone. Just you gotta stay true to yourself. I think it's very easy nowadays, being in part of a group with friends, to kind of conform. And I think when you do that, you lose a lot of your individuality. And I think my message would be maintain and hold on to that, because I think it will bode well for your future partner and for your future relationships.
I like it, man. Ollie, thank
beautiful.
you. Thanks for coming over. Thanks for coming over to America and blessing us with your presence.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It has been a fucking joy.
Yeah, that was awesome. We'll cut it there, man.
awesome.
Thank you.
Nice
Yeah,
one.
we'll be announcing this episode on Tuesday.
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 Thanks again.
No worries. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.